Welcome to XP on Air, the podcast from XP Advisors, where we dive into the world of AI, digital transformation, and the future of business. Each episode will bring you perspective from leaders, innovators, and experts across industries, all focused on helping organizations and, more importantly, people thrive in a changing world. Let's get started.
Mike, I'm going to throw you a quick one. We talked about this many times because somewhere right now at this moment, there's a person in finance that is logging into their 14th utility portal of that day, doing this by hand, downloading every single bill off of this massive spreadsheet that is called password underscore final underscore version 3.
Ravit, I've seen this happen time and time again. Users are going in, grabbing the username, copying the password, logging into the portal, finding the invoice, downloading it, logging out, going on to the next one. Times that by dozens or hundreds of times they have to do this. It's a lot of work. And the scary part of this is that behind each one of those invoices, there's a shut-off deadline. If they miss one of these, a building can go dark, a shipment can be held up, internet goes out. There's real consequences to any gap in this manual work.
And that's really what's at stake that no one is even talking about. It's not really even the busy work or the numbing work that no one even thinks about. It's the fact that it really literally keeps the lights on. And so what did we actually do to fix this?
Well, we worked with our clients and we built SmartFetch. It's a automated tool that logs into those vendor portals for you autonomously every day, grabs every invoice the second it posts, and it drops it straight into your payment system. There's no logins, no spreadsheets, no remembering passwords, no racing the clock because you forgot something. It just works.
And that's what I love about this episode, because we get to talk about what we solved. And really in the next 20 minutes, we'll show you exactly how it looks like and how to really play the game and bust the myth that people have around these type of automations. So let's go.
Let's do it.
So really, welcome to our show. I'm Ravit Gutman, the CEO of XP Advisors, and I'm here again with Mike, who lives and breathes this product every single day. So Mike, let's start.
Absolutely. Glad to be here, Ravit. And this topic is near and dear to me. I spend so much of my day listening to customer horror stories, the late fee nightmares, and then I get to turn those stories into features that help make the problems go away.
And I love that. So really on today's episode is really for everyone who has ever spent their entire day just really gathering things that just could, so they can actually finally start their job. And that's what's really interesting, because we have been for years focusing and our customers on automating order to cash, purchase to pay, but we are not talking about what really happens before the capturing and before the reconciliation and before everything that needs to happen. Really, what happens in that front door that someone goes and needs to get the document to start that process.
Every customer, every client out there, every business has this issue at some level within the organization.
I agree. That's what was one of the things that surprised both of us the most, is really the more we went into this and the more we have embedded this within our clients, we just saw more and more use cases and more departments and realized this is not an actual AP problem. It's actually much bigger than that. And really, every team has that one person, that one spreadsheet that they just keep on doing it. And just, again, this shadow work that just someone has always done and no one talks about that. So let's talk a little bit about what is SmartFetch. Again, let's try to keep it in a non-technical terms, but in one sentence, what is SmartFetch?
Okay, so non-technical, I would say SmartFetch is an AI agent that goes and gets your invoices for you. Everything from utility bills, telecom, government portals, your shipping partners. It collects all those invoices and delivers them right to your payment system the moment that they appear.
And try to get this to like somewhat of like an everyday analogy of what it does.
Yeah, think about it as like your personal robot. It knows every mailbox that you have to go to. It can check them every morning. It stacks the important mail neatly on your desk. It's already labeled before you even had your coffee in the morning. It does that manual work for you so you can actually do the processing, which is where a lot of the details need to be reviewed.
And I'm assuming that takes a big project or some IT work or something that needs to be done in terms of the team.
That's what I like most actually, Ravit, is SmartFetch is implemented with zero IT involvement. There's a few tasks that the user sets up to begin, really answering three questions. Where do I pull the invoices from? How do I send it? And how often do I check? You name it, you hit create, and then the invoices start arriving at your destination with account number, amount, bill date, all that data already attached in a metadata form. So it's not just faster, it's less thinking.
I love that. That sounds like an assistant that actually can go and do a lot of that work for you. And essentially, you're saying that every user can set this up themselves, correct?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what is the pain point that really we try to solve with this. So paint me a little bit the before picture. What does it look like today without getting that, without SmartFetch?
Yeah, let's just walk through kind of how we created it. We're working with a client, a healthcare company. They had over 200 locations, and every single month they had somebody in finance that had to log into a utility portal, and they had to go find and download 200 invoices manually for that one supplier. They had to key that information in one at a time, upload the invoices, and then they could process the invoice. That was just one supplier times that by all the other utilities and all the other recurring bills that are in portals for each of those locations. It was a monumental task. They had a lot of manual work that we were able to remove.
And I remember that I saw that use case. It's not even that all of those invoices are dropped on the same day. It's like they literally need to make sure that they log in every single day because those 200 invoices will drop in different times for different locations, right?
Absolutely. So they were literally checking that portal every day for a new invoice. And it was really easy to miss one because when you're logging in, did I download this one already? Did I not? They kept a manual spreadsheet to kind of cross reference, but there's always human error when you look at something like that. So there's always the risk that the invoice was missed and they had late fees or disconnect notices being sent. It was a lot of issues around that one process.
And I think that's probably the biggest issue because they are racing against that shut off clock because we are seeing where this problem exists the most is with the utility, with the government, with all of these sites that essentially they will never provide you an invoice unless a paper one that someone will scan in the mailroom, right?
Exactly. And that's where the fire drill comes that AP constantly lives in. You know, that constant fear, did we miss something? That constant manual effort to make sure that they didn't miss anything. And that's where SmartFetch helps solve that issue. Every invoice is captured automatically the day it posts. There's no portal marathons for the end users, no manual entry. And the results, the clients really care about is there's zero late payments.
I love that. And I think that's a huge win for those teams. And I think as we went through this also, what was really interesting, that a lot of this exists also from getting purchase orders timely and downloading or importing information to other portals or even reconciling payment information on cash applications. And it seems that really this has been just one of these things that continuously impact you in such a hard way, but just has always been part of the routine work that a finance team knew that they need to do.
That's a great point, Ruby. I mean, we're talking about some AP use cases here today, but our clients that are working in the order to cash realm, that volume can be even higher because they've got clients sending them 50, 100 different POs per day. And they want to send those in their portals. They want to send them in Ariba and Coupa and these other, you know, P2P systems. That requires a lot of manual effort on the supplier to go through and check those and download them and then upload a PO confirmation and then upload an ASN and then upload an invoice. On the AP side, it's great. They've got all this autonomy, but the amount of manual work it's creating for the supplier leads to higher prices, leads to additional headcount, leads to delayed SLAs with the client. There's a number of issues on that side as well. We could do a whole nother episode just on order to cash.
That's incredible. I'm very excited about this again. And I think we're definitely seeing just every day more and more use cases on that. So I would love to play a little game because our audience really want to see and understand really what is a myth versus a fact. And we've played that game before. So let's play that. So I'll read a statement about SmartFetch and you'll tell me if it's a myth or a fact. So are you ready?
I love the games, Ravit. Let's go.
Awesome. So statement number 1, just dumps all your portal passwords into a risky spreadsheet somewhere.
That is a myth. It's actually the exact opposite. SmartFetch kills the shared password spreadsheet. Every login is securely in one place. There's no sticky notes, no wondering who still has access when they leave the company. Users don't see the username and password that they can copy down.
And that's a huge pain point by itself. Like, I think as we went through this process, like everyone had this massive spreadsheet and version. And I wasn't joking when I said in the beginning, when we've seen that password _ final V, that's an actual case.
That's the name of a file of one of our clients.
Definitely. So awesome. So let's go to statement number 2. So SmartFetch is going to really hammer those vendor sites and get us locked out. I think that has been an actual fear that we've heard as well.
It's a valid fear, and it's also a myth. And I'll say the reason that fear exists is because of how people have utilized AI for to try to do this in the past, where the system's just continuously hitting the vendor portal. The portal thinks that there's an attack coming on, and it shuts down the account. The way we design SmartFetch is to use a single controlled login attempt. It reads and downloads. It never changes the portal settings. It never pokes around. It has a very prescriptive path that doesn't trigger any alarms or security concerns from those portal sites.
And I remember from RPA days, like when we try to automate potential similar things like that with fetching proof of deliveries. And that was probably one of the biggest issues with these RPAs, because they were really just trying to complete that task over and over again. And they were causing some problems. And definitely these sites are very sensitive. So I love the fact we thought about really how to make sure that it's not there and it doesn't do that. And in the same time, also it notifies the users as well when something was attempted and a login failed. Also, you are kept in a loop and you're getting a message on that as well. Statement number 3. So one SmartFetch login can pull invoices from hundreds of accounts.
Okay, that one's a fact. And that's really where the magic is. We can give our team a single username and password that they can log into SmartFetch with. From there, SmartFetch can cover all of the different portals, hundreds of them at a time, with secure access so that those people logging in don't have access to the password. And it really goes through and does a very secure process to pull that data and automate that without your team doing any extra work.
And are everyone able to add additional users for that, as well as you're managing if it's multiple teams doing these things?
Absolutely. From an administrative standpoint, your super user can add additional people to it so you can control who has access to it. It's also important to note you don't need to log in on a regular basis. The whole point of SmartFetch is to be autonomous. So you always have ability to log in and check things, but the system runs automatically. It sends you success and failure notifications. So in reality, users don't even need to log into SmartFetch on a daily basis.
I love that. And I think that was actually leading to my statement number 4. And you kind of hinted that already. So if a fetch quietly fails, really you won't find out about it until the bill gets unpaid.
And obviously that's a myth based on what I just said, but Within SmartFetch, we send a very plain language message to users based on who's accessing what the moment that something snags. So you get a daily digest showing what worked, if anything needs attention, just so you have that proactive ability to go out and correct that while SmartFetch is learning, or if there's any issues, just pulling one of those invoices, you'll never have an issue.
And I believe one of the recent requests we had was really to also add some anomaly detection. So especially that we were dealing with a lot of again, healthcare organization that had hundreds and hundreds of sites, just really being able to proactively know on different anomalies that really requires them to pay attention to certain fetches that really they need to act on ASAP.
Absolutely, and that's one of the beauties of how we went to market with this is these are really client first solutions. So we listen to clients as we run across different scenarios. That's where we get our product roadmap is from clients, use cases, client need, different things they bring to us. So it's really a client first product.
Yes, and I think we definitely saw this on this one, and additional tools that are coming also as part of our overall smart suite, because these items essentially are built from our clients and are able to be managed by our clients, supported by our clients, and really being handled by the business, as you heard already, that also not require heavy implementation or IT, really just connecting the system and putting your information in it. Um, so I am curious to know, SmartFetch shows you exactly how much time it saved you on every single day.
That is a fact. We actually put together a daily digest, and in that digest, we quantify the savings in minutes and hours based on how many invoices were pulled, what the baselines are from our clients on how long it would take them to do that process manually. So you can see the value of SmartFetch every single day, every morning in your inbox.
I love that. So let's say I go back to some real customer moments, because I know we shared a few. We talked about a few of our healthcare customers. We talked about the fact that the product was built off of use cases and of our customers, which I love, especially today in a world that everyone are looking to see what are those use cases, where is the true AI value, and really the fact that we were able to build and listen and actually normalize this and talk to our customers together through our community, and build things that can actually solve real world problem that exists for those teams. I would like to, again, if you can give me and I know you gave one example already, but if you can think of another real world example, and when did it actually click for that?
Absolutely. I was talking with one of our AP leads from one of our clients, and it just happened to, right before our meeting, he had been downloading invoices and brought that up of, hey, I was just doing this process. I think I got the last one. That just sparked a conversation. And, I sent him a trial link for SmartFetch. He set up his account in 5 minutes, logged into the portal, and saw that everything was able to download. He didn't have to finish that list for the day. Uh, that was really a moment of relief for him. He saw that there's a better way than dedicating 30 minutes of it every morning to checking these portals. And he was able to see it real time on his system with his accounts. That was a real big win for him.
I can't imagine even what is the weight that that person needed to carry. Like thinking, it's like, okay, what happens if I take a day off? If I have a sick leave? Like just the fact that I'm all of this is built, and I need to make sure that I do this every single day. That is definitely heavy.
Exactly, and it starts with the very obvious bills. If I look through the customers that are using SmartFetch today, it all started with a power bill or something of that nature. But then as they use SmartFetch for a month or so, they start realizing all the other areas that we can look at to save time. Go out to Amazon to grab invoices, grab proof of deliveries, all the other ancillary documents they need that are manual bottlenecks in their AP process. They're finding more and more places to be able to optimize their time.
And it's been really great to see how it actually grew internally in these clients from word to mouth between the different departments, because and finding different type of use cases that, again, as I said, we were not even aware of, that requires people to log in. And it's incredible to see like how, again, teams, highly educated people that can do so much more value added work are stuck to do something that is just really, it's a task that required to really start or kick off anything in their organization. Cool. So let's sign this off. And I like to do this lightning round. So really, Mike, SmartFetch in 3 words. What would that be?
3 words. I would say invoices fetched automatically.
Awesome. What would be the biggest misconception?
I would just say that it's complicated or risky, or that we're going to need IT to get involved to set this up. This is something we can do in 5 minutes with you.
Indeed. And if someone is listening and wants to stop the portal marathon, actually, that you're running on a daily basis, what should they do?
Step 1, reach out to us. You can go to our website and book a demo. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn, or if you have our contact information, we're always happy to talk. But bring us your most painful portal, the one you really dread dealing with. Let's set it up and set up a trial on that. You can see how it works. You can see the benefit, and we can go from there.
Awesome. To everyone, that is SmartFetch for you. Again, super excited to actually show a true AI use cases and something we sell for our customers. Please subscribe to our show and share this with a coworker who is currently buried in those download PDFs. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Extropy On Air. We hope you found today's conversation insightful and inspiring. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode, and connect with us at Extropy Advisors to continue the conversation on AI and digital transformation. Until next time, I'm Kevin Zirkle, and this has been Extropy On Air.